It has been some time since our last episode. The people of Edinburgh have been busy planning their future. Some technological advancements were made in the world since our last meeting, such as gold coin as currency and improved medical practices. I'll cover these later in the video. First, we should refresh on what happened last episode. We built a grand temple of oak, improved the farm, and built an arena. Geoffrey and Sigmund had many duels, but ultimately, Geoffrey's passion had him as a concise winner. Hrothgar took the challenge and managed to defeat the passionate Geoffrey quite handedly. We also fought off the Church of the Third Coming and more recently our classic adversary, the Forest Bandits. Our latest project is to improve the Church of Restitution. An additional entrance will be added and a space underground will be mined to be used as a crypt. Not a single citizen of Edinburgh has passed away yet, but we prepare now for what is inevitable. Another inevitability is that Edinburgh will be attacked again. We begin to prepare better fortifications and trenches in the south, just outside the Oak Garden walls. The church improvement becomes a somewhat surgical procedure. Parts of the roof fail, as do some walls. A process of delicate balancing must be used to slowly mine while adding supporting columns while we go. We improve the smelting workflow of gold and silver by creating very high priority stockpiles of gold and silver ore next to the furnaces. The dogs will now do most of the legwork for us. The cartography room will be where we store our valuable metals and our coins later. Of course, Hrothgar and Geoffrey continued their competition to determine the best swordsman in Edinburgh, but we can see the highlights of these battles later. For now, we will remove the old cobble wall and begin foundations for a new barracks. Back at the Oak Garden walls, I begin to plan out gated bridges so that we may travel freely, but our enemies are forced to make an exposed journey down and around. In the peak of summer, we are struck with a blight. A man was quick to action. However, there was more blight than expected, a side effect of our extensive wall gardens. A man was scheduled onto a full work schedule to make her find and remove all blighted crops. Unfortunately, I may have forgotten to revert that schedule until some time later. The church has been progressing well. Our contributions to the gods have pleased them, it seems, as a herd of deer have come to Edinburgh. We will surely eat well this coming winter. Our southern defences are beginning to look strong. More trenches and some traps are planned out. Kyle tests the effective range of the towers with his longbow. Excellent coverage. Fortunately, not too much time passed before I noticed a man was on an impossible work schedule. Corrected, and may she have some well-earned rest. Adgar wins the first bout. Geoffrey wins the second. This next one is the decider. And the new Edinburgh reigning champion is Geoffrey. The combination of duels and Heatstroke has prompted us to build more infirmary beds. We have the material resources needed to build plenty, so that is what we shall do. May everyone have an infirmary bed when they need one. The next day, when searching for wild herbs, it seems we have another herd of deer passing through. It seems I caught them just as they were about to leave. The hunters rush to seize the opportunity while they still can. It looks like Hrothgar has taken back his title. Now is a good time to show you some new mechanics called self-tend. Settlers can now tend to themselves and can be activated with this checkbox. If it turns red, it's because they do not have medicine as a job priority. We now have a job called patient. It differs from convalescence in that the afflicted will go to bed or infirmary bed and then wait for treatment, whereas convalescence allows them to leave their beds to meet needs, like eating or entertainment. This generally fixes the issue where a settler can die from not staying in bed waiting for treatment. As we know, Kyle has danced with death in just such a way. I added coins to the cartography room stockpiles and I'll quickly explain them. Coins have now been introduced to the game and so we now have a currency. As you can see, 1 kilogram of limestone is worth 0.4 gold coins it seems. We will begin to send out regular trade with our neighbours and develop partnerships with them. It is now time to begin development of the barracks. This will be used as a temporary accommodation and a place to store dueling weapons and armour close to the arena. The rooftop will also provide excellent views of the future duels. Over in Bloxwich, Hrothgar trades our famous Edinburgh limestone bricks, our finely tailored clothing and some packaged survival meals for a bit of gold coin and some exotic clay bricks. We generously gift much in return for favour. As a heatwave begins to pour down on Edinburgh, Hrothgar returns. After considerable amounts of research, we are able to learn heavy crossbows. These are powerful weapons with a greater range than a bow, but a slower reload time. They require level 20 carpentry to make, and it takes a level 15 or above marksman to use them. We begin construction straight away, and will begin to phase out our longbows from our skilled archers. The trees here have gotten out of hand, and we need to bring it back under control. At the same time, our animals who travelled with Hrothgar are being maimed and killed by our own traps. I later solved this issue by setting a man who has high movement speed to prioritise animal handling. In the meantime, we have our first heavy crossbow. I allow Kyle to be the first to test the new weapon technology. Gold coin. Be interesting to see how much of it we can accumulate. Soon, more heavy crossbows are ready. That's a lot better. We'll call this one a draw. With the new mechanic, we can see that Hrothgar is tending to himself. Progress on the barracks has been slow. Our main builder Kyle has heatstroke. The new patient and convalescence priorities seem to be acting odd, and I could not get Kyle out of the hospital beds for simple heatstroke. Progress on the church crypt has also been quite slow. While the farms were exploding with productivity, as you can see by our exceptionally healthy fridge. Temperatures are also doing great considering we are in a summer heat wave. Sigmund makes another trade with Abergavenny. We offer them fine Edinburgh wine, linen and limestone brick with our gold coin and clay brick. Our peace is soon interrupted. Another 30 forest bandits have come looking for a fight. We won handedly, even though Sigmund was caught coming back from his trade run. This time a man will make short work of rounding up these animals. We learn as we go, and our last battle shows that some trenches here would be highly effective at slowing down enemy invasions. Soon we are back to peaceful routine and enjoying the rest of the summer. Martin is already working hard to get the traps reset. Unexpectedly, a refugee has asked to join us. Adgar is a 31-year-old highly passionate cook and researcher, as well as having some passion in archery, making him a very valuable addition to the community. His only current trait is callousness, which is handy given the intense battlefield Edenburgh can often become. New recruits will require us to expand the bedrooms. As a temporary measure, we will get some beds in the barracks. We have enough bedrooms for now, but we are at capacity. The crypt is a much more surgical and slow process. I get a crossbow and some clothes on Adgar before our friends the Philosophers come for him. We continued to build and grow as we normally would, as the calm evening began to turn electric with anticipation for the arrival of our opposition. These violent thinkers seem to have reinvented themselves somewhat, but we shall see if they have reinvented their tactics since our last battle.